On a stormy night in 2000, 9-year-old Asha Degree packed her book bag, left her home in the middle of the night, and vanished into the darkness. No one knows why she left or where she went. 25 years later, her disappearance remains one of America's most haunting mysteries. This is the story of Asha Degree. On the night of the 13th of February, 2000, Asha Degree went to bed around 8 p.m. in her family's home at 3404 Oak Crest Drive. A powerful storm swept through the area that night, briefly knocking out the electricity in the neighborhood. Sometime around 2:30 a.m., Asha's father Harold checked on her and her older brother. Both appeared to be sound asleep. Sometime afterwards, Asha's brother O'Brien, then age 10, recalls hearing Asha's bed squeak. He did not further rouse himself, as he assumed she was merely changing positions in her sleep. But by the time Asha's mom went to wake up the children at 6:30 a.m., Asha was gone. Sometime during those early morning hours of the 14th of February, between 2:30 a.m. and 6:30 a.m., Asha quietly packed a book bag with some of her clothes and personal belongings. In a perplexing and heartbreaking turn, she slipped out of the house on foot, heading into the darkness and rain. Around 4 a.m., multiple witnesses later reported seeing a young girl walking along Highway 18, several miles from her home. One motorist said he turned around to check on her, but by the time he returned, she had vanished, disappearing into the woods. 2 days later, on the 15th of February, investigators found a few of Asha's belongings, a pencil, a green marker, and a yellow hair bow inside a shed at a nearby business near where she was last seen. Strangely, a photograph of an unidentified young girl, roughly Asha's age, was also found at the scene. To this day, the girl in the photo has never been identified. Then, in a chilling discovery 18 months later, Asha's book bag was unearthed in Burke County, nearly 26 miles north of her home. It had been carefully wrapped in plastic and partially buried near a construction site just off Highway 18. Inside the bag were items that deepened the mystery: a New Kids on the Block concert t-shirt and a book by Dr. Seuss. Neither item belonged to the missing 9-year-old. However, the book was traced back to the library at Falston Elementary School, where Asha was a student. Years passed with no resolution. Then, in 2016, the FBI revealed a potential lead. Asha may have entered a dark green 1970s model Ford Thunderbird, or Lincoln Mark IV, on the morning she disappeared. In September 2024, a major development emerged in the decades-old disappearance of Asha Degree, when a series of search warrants connected a local family, the Dedmons, to the case. Investigators revealed that they now suspect that Asha was killed and her body deliberately concealed, with members of the Dedmon family potentially involved in the crime. The warrants named Roy Dedmon, his wife Connie Dedmon, and their 3 daughters, Annalee Dedmon Ramirez, Lizzie Foster, and Sarah Capel. DNA evidence reportedly linked Asha to both Annalee Ramirez and a man named Russell Underhill, who, while not a family member, was closely associated with them. Items recovered from Asha's backpack, including the clothing and book that investigators believe did not belong to her, produced DNA matches for Ramirez and Underhill. The backpack has long been a focal point in the investigation since it was discovered in the early 2000s. Additionally, law enforcement seized an older model green AMC Rambler from Roy Dedmon's property. The car reportedly shares very similar features to the vehicle believed to be connected to Asha's disappearance. On the 12th of September, 2024, Lizzie Foster sent a message to her sister Sarah, stating she had spoken to the family's attorney and remarked, quote, "The theory is, I did it. Accident. Covered it up." End quote. Around the same time, a witness came forward claiming Lizzie once admitted at a house party, attended by both her and Sarah, that she had killed Asha Degree. At the time of Asha's disappearance in 2000, Annalee was approximately 13 years old. While her DNA has been identified among the evidence, recent investigative focus has shifted more directly toward her father Roy and her sisters Lizzie and Sarah. This was reflected in new search warrants issued in February 2025. On the 10th of February, 2025, Lizzie Foster was asked to take a polygraph test regarding the case. According to the warrant, she was questioned about whether she was withholding information, and her responses were found to be deceptive. Given that Lizzie Foster and Sarah Capel were just 16 and 15 years old at the time of Asha's disappearance, investigators believe that if they were involved, they would have likely required adult assistance from their parents in carrying out or covering up the crime, according to the sheriff's office. As of July 2025, no arrests have been made in the case, and Asha is still missing. The Dedmon family has spoke out through a family spokesperson. They maintain their innocence and claim that they did not own the vehicle in question at the time Asha disappeared. The reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction in the Asha Degree case has been increased to $100,000. Anyone with information concerning this case should contact Cleveland County Sheriff's Office at 704-484-4788 or the State Bureau of Investigation at 919-662-4500. It's been over 2 decades since Asha Degree vanished. Her family has never given up hope, holding on to every clue, every tip, and every passing year with unwavering faith. Someone, somewhere, knows what happened to Asha, and until the truth comes out, her story remains one of the most heartbreaking mysteries in America. This is not just a missing person case. This is the fight for answers, justice, and closure.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Ashes and Alibis. Please subscribe for more deep dives into unsolved mysteries, updates on current cases, and more true crime and bullshit. Stay tuned for our next episode,